Hello, this is Tanya and thank you for stopping by. Today I'd like to share a bit of my country, Croatia, with you and a bit more about my life journey so you can learn more about me. When I say that I'm from Croatia, people usually ask me, and where is that? So here it is, in purple color, my country in Eastern Europe, just across from Italy as we share the same beautiful Adriatic Sea. We call Croatia Hrvatska, and we became a republic in 1991 after the separation of Yugoslavia and the War of Independence. We have been a part of the EU since 2013 and have about 4.5 million citizens. This is my hometown, Samobor, the cute, charming city where I grew up. It was very safe and I had a pretty nice childhood here. This old Samobor castle is from the 13th century and I used to love taking a walk there, climbing to these old rocks and just enjoying the peace of the forest that surrounded the castle. Here you can see one of my dearest photos. I was about 2 years old with my mom and dad holding my hands on our walk to the nearby hills. I loved to dance as when I was a young girl, and this is me dancing a folk dance which represents different parts of my country. Only half an hour drive from my hometown is Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, where I moved to in my 30s. There are a lot of green parks where you can walk. This is the opera house from the 19th century, and this is the famous street of Tkalcha, filled with small cafes and restaurants and full of people sitting, drinking coffee and talking, especially in the summer. There is a big culture of drinking coffee in my country, and this is the way to catch up with friends and even do business. If you ever visit Croatia, then the Plitvice National Park is a must-see. Gorgeous lakes with crystal clear green water where you can walk and enjoy nature the entire day. My country is called the country of 1,000 islands, or to be more specific, 1,185 islands. We have one of the most rugged coastlines in the world. Definitely a place to visit for a vacation, but it also explains why there were so many wars in the past, as many other neighboring countries wanted to covet our shoreline. Look at the beauty of these islands, crystal clear blue water, wonderful sunsets, romantic lighthouses. This is me on the island Kirk a few years ago. On the southern tip, there is the city of Dubrovnik, with its famous fortification walls all around the city. They were built from the 12th to the 17th centuries, and the whole city is on UNESCO's list of the World Heritage Site. Now this is one of my favorite cities in Croatia, Pula, with its famous amphitheater. As the Croatian coast was a part of a Roman Empire a long time ago, this amphitheater is very similar to the one in Rome, just smaller. Live concerts and the film festival take place there every summer. More to the south, there is a city of Split. This is what we call Riva or waterfront. It's very vibrant in the summertime. And this is peristyle, built also in the ancient time of the Roman Empire. So, did you know that the necktie actually has its origin in Croatia? We call it kravata. Do you see the similarity of the words Croat and kravata? Let me briefly tell you its story. During the 30-year war in France, French King Louis XIII hired Croatian people to design a piece of cloth to put around their necks as part of their uniforms. He loved it very much and was quite fond of it. In honor of the Croatian soldiers, he gave it the name La Cravat and made it a mandatory accessory to the royal gatherings. Have you ever heard of Nikola Tesla? He was the genius inventor who helped design the modern alternating current electricity supply system, which we still use today. He was Serbian, born in a small village in what is now present-day Croatia, and then moved to New York as a young man. I greatly admire his inventions and will probably talk more about him in one of my future videos. Another invention that comes from a Croatian is the pen. This mechanic pencil was invented in 1906 by a man called Slavoljub Penkala, hence the name pen. Now, I could go on and on telling you about famous people, history, culture, etc. But I think you already have a good sense of my country and perhaps even wish to visit one day. Finally, I want to share with you something that changed my life completely. My personal transformation started in the 1990s when there was a Croatian homeland war starting for the independence from Yugoslavia. You can see some photos here from the devastated city of Vukovar and also from Dubrovnik. I was in my early 20s, finishing my studies at university, and I was literally in shock. I was a student who was preparing to begin life, get a job, maybe start a family, but the reality was the opposite. My father was a commander in the war, and we were scared for his life. I couldn't possibly understand how the human mind could be so consumed with this state of hatred near the end of the 20th century, after already having the First and Second World Wars. I didn't stop my studies. In fact, I even worked harder, but I felt that somebody had stolen my future from me. I realized very early that the core of all conflicts is rooted in the human mind. I even spent the next 9 years serving in the Croatian army, not in the combat unit, but in information technology and communication support. One of my first tasks at the age of 25 was to train war invalids to use computers as a way of integrating them back into society. As you can see, I had to grow up very fast. This is when I started my spiritual search, reading, thinking, and finding a completely new world of spiritual teachings. I will go deeper into this in one of my future videos, but for now let me just tell you that I found many answers in the Vedic sciences of yoga and Vedic astrology. These are some photos from my journeys. First, my astrology studies in Croatia, then the astrology conference in California, astrology course in the Bahamas, and a yoga teacher training course also in California. Finally, as I was learning about my inner potential, the economic situation in Croatia got worse, and so I decided to take a huge step and move by myself to San Francisco in 2010, where I stayed in a yoga center for 4 months. The story continues. But for now, I would simply like you to take 2 messages from me today. First, that every challenging situation, like war in my case, is a chance for spiritual growth and transformation. People mostly grow from challenges. And second, as I said earlier, I deeply believe that the core problem of this civilization and this time we live in is in the human mind. I hope you felt inspired by my story. I would love to hear your story as well, and your comments, which you can post below this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.